Fell asleep.
What's that?
I said I fell asleep, Trevor, because I'm exhausted.
Oh, well, I'm sure the adrenaline will kick in.
I hope so.
I've had plenty of all-nighters. Trust me, the second wind will come. You just have to open your sails to it.
Whatever that means. Hey, which one of these do you think sounds better? We only get one shot at this, Barnaby. It's not the time for games and riddles. Or, we only get one shot at this, Barnaby. It's not the time for games and riddles.
Well, they both feel a bit...
Terrible?
No, I was going to say a bit forced. They feel a bit forced.
Hey, Von Kovac doesn't know that we're coming together, right? He doesn't even know that we're friends. We could plan something and make it seem spontaneous. Like, you can cut me off halfway.
Simon, listen to yourself.
No.
If we plan something, it won't be spontaneous. It will just feel inauthentic.
I can't believe this shit.
Steady on.
No, I said it last night. I'm supposed to be rested. I should have went home or to the gym. I'm supposed to be on my game.
You're going to be great.
Yeah, or I'm going to blow the biggest opportunity of my life because I got caught up in all your bullshit last night.
Well, you got one hell of a story out of it.
And what about Jaden? Because he almost got shot.
Well, I had a feeling it would all sort itself out.
You say that about a lot of stuff, don't you?
Well, look at me. I mean, here I am on my way to meet Von Kovac for the role of a lifetime.
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
And this is going to be a spoiler-full episode of the podcast of Wonder Man Season 1, found on Disney Plus, episodes 5 and 6. So we're covering episodes 5 and 6 of Wonder Man. And Steve, what is the title and synopsis of these particular episodes?
Episode 5 is called Found Footage, and the synopsis is try a peach ring, you'll understand. And obviously you've watched the episode, so you understand as well. And then
exactly.
episode 6, which is Callback, and the synopsis is it is tight, Jake. I didn't catch that line the first time, and so it was nice
I still have yet to find it.
I think it's when he was talking about Shaka Khan and the Shaka Khan show, and one of the guys said something like that that was tight or something like that, or I think that's where it was, if I remember correctly. So
interesting.
I think that was the moment.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna just jump right into it, everybody. As you all know, as you listeners know, what we do, we talk about these episodes as they are. We're going to go from episode to episode. So overall thoughts, Steve, what did you think of episode 5?
I absolutely loved it. I really did. I mean, I messaged you last week after I finished watching them for the first time and said something like, man, it totally made up for my disappointment in episodes 3 and 4, which I've kind of gone back on. I listened to TV podcast industry's coverage of episodes 3 and 4, and I kind of got a better love for them now. But I absolutely love the frantic pace of episode 5. It was very, very frenetic, and we had that action. We had a couple of good action scenes, in there, which were really cool. We got to see more of Simon's powers, and kind of, he has some sort of strength, along with this. Still, when he kicked one of the guys, I think there was like a light came out of his foot, it looked like. So I don't know if that's part of his telekinesis or what, but yeah, I absolutely loved both these episodes, and they were very different episodes for sure, but yeah, I know. What did you think of episode 5?
I thought it was like an action-packed buddy film in this one episode. Honestly, it reminded me back of when we talk about Adrenaline Cinema podcast, and we talk about that stuff like with like Lethal Weapon or Die Hard or anything, Friends. But the thing is that you could see that Trevor is a true friend to Simon within that and how they interact. And I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. It's like you could see that Trevor is building up to the idea of that he is really a friend to Simon. And I really do enjoy it. And that's what I enjoyed throughout the whole episode. It's like, okay, it's leading up to something else. And then we will get into the next episode when we get to that.
I've got some thoughts. I just gave myself a note to make sure I remember to bring it up in the next episode. But yeah, it was really cool. The running around the city, and just it reminded me a lot of, the movie After Hours. I mean, that's just one guy, but it really reminded me of that, the frantic pace of him running around the city. And there was that Ted Lasso episode that was, Coach After Hours. That was kind of like a homage to that's what it really, really reminded me of, was that idea. And then, like you said, the buddy aspect of it was even better, seeing them going around. And then at the end, when they get back in the car and I've got I'm in the wrong seat and just drive, was great. It was really just, I can't gush enough about just how really, really good we see. We get a glimpse into kind of, there was no flashback at the very beginning, which is okay. That's, they've been like, it's like almost every episode. There's only been like 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes so far that didn't have a flashback at the very beginning. So something like that. I think Doorman didn't have a flashback, or it was kind of a flashback, kind of, but it was
kind of a flashback with Doorman. Literally, it was, oh, okay, this is the whole Doorman story, and that's what we got, and then that's why that was put into place for that one line that we got within that episode. So.
Right. But yeah, like I said, I absolutely loved it. I love when they get to the door and, Simon's been overthinking this whole thing. Trevor clocks Jaden right at the beginning. He knows Jaden's a liar, but Simon still has his hope that no, we got to get this footage. We got to get this. We got to do this thing for him. So he'll delete the footage and stuff. But he does this whole backstory of, we're undercover cops. We were in the neighborhood and we ran the plates on the motorcycle. He's overthinking the whole thing. And then when they get to the door, immediately the girl goes, "The friggin' Mandarin." She's like, "The Mandarin is at her door," and Trevor's like, "I think our cover's blown," and it's just
exactly.
Like, well, okay, now what do we do? And so it was just great.
And the whole thing about the whole fruit stuff and them making sugary substances, and they're thinking they're doing drugs, but they're literally making
it's bootleg candy, Mexican candy thing where they're mixing up different candies together and packaging it. And it's just like, this is crazy. But then, of course, the cops show up at the end because the neighbors called them in because the neighbors thought they were doing drugs.
Exactly.
It was just great. Yeah. I loved the moment, when the bad guys show up at the car with Jaden in it, and we get that kind of whistle soundtrack, very Western by the old spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood. Really, again, just it was really, really good.
Yeah,
just the whole thing. Janelle calls them at just the wrong time, to tell them they need to get over to Von Kovacs for the callbacks. And I just the whole this was really, really, really fun. And I can't say enough. I don't have a whole lot of notes, but it says it was so good. I mean, I'd have to go through the whole episode. I love the exhaustion that we see on Simon's. I don't know how far they had to drive, but it seems like, it was nighttime and then it was day. It's going to be daylight when they get to Von Kovacs' house eventually. And so I'm just, again, I love the pace of it and everything. Loved the Superman song at the end. Obviously, this is a Marvel, this is a Marvel show, but they have a song about Superman at the end, in the end credits. I thought was just great. So,
what was the Three Doors Down? I'm forgetting.
No, it wasn't this. It wasn't the Three Doors Down Superman. I didn't recognize it. I'd have to look it up on IMDb to see if they had it. It wasn't the Three Doors Down Superman though. No,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't really go into that. Everybody, I'm sorry, didn't do my due diligence of needle drops within the particular episodes, but yeah, it to me, I really loved it. I loved it, but I really love the interaction that they both had between Trevor and Simon within this. And it showed that they truly cared for one another and how they were there for one another. And I think this episode and even previous episodes, we get that between Trevor and Simon, how Trevor was favoring Simon as a person and loving him as a person and wanting him to do better for himself, not as an actor, but also as a person. And he loves him as a person. And, Trevor doesn't have many friends. Neither does Simon. So I think it works out. I think they created this character of Trevor within the series to give Simon somebody who is needing of somebody.
Yeah, it seems like neither one of them really has a lot of friends, even though, when Trevor gets that phone call, he's like, oh, my friend from the pocket dimension that I was in is calling me, that was a Commodore's song written by Lionel Richie, Superman. Is what it was. So I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the IMDb page for it now. It was Superman by the Commodores, written by Lionel Richie. So there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really, we're seeing this friendship developing between them. And it's going to be so much sadder when, I hope it doesn't go long because there's got to be a moment when he's going to find out what Trevor's doing. It's got to.
Yeah.
It's too much of a trope in a show like this, for us not to have something happen where he's going to figure out that damage control has been controlling Trevor, or they're going to come to arrest him, and Trevor's, but I did like at the end. Well, that's in the next episode. We'll talk about that in the next episode when we talk about when he gets picked up by damage control at the end. But no, like I said, this one was really a lot of fun. I thought it was great. They didn't know how a GoPro works, and Trevor had to ask the girl.
Goes to him like a memory card instead of the cloud, and I just love the fact of the aspect of how it was filmed. Almost looked like something out of like a 70s grindhouse movie when they have to turn off at certain times and how it's filmed. It's very 70s based. And I really like that because it's action packed and it's like very POV at certain points, but then we get the overall look. But the situation is very much almost like a grindhouse movie. It's like, oh, they're thrown into this situation. Oh, how do they get out? What do they do? Oh my God. And then, all he had was a GoPro, and literally all he had to do, it's like, oh. And then,
and he had the camera on him. The camera was even on him. It wasn't stashed somewhere, and obviously because he didn't have time really to stash it anywhere when they were chasing him, there was no moment really where he would have had a chance to ditch it. So I think it was really clever of Trevor to figure that out. They go, wait a minute, he must have it on him, because we didn't see him go anywhere except for that club. And then once he figures out that you can't upload from a GoPro camera, he's on that scooter. He's on one of those scooters that they have in cities now. We have them here in Oklahoma City downtown, where you swipe your card and you travel on this scooter for however long, and then you just dump it somewhere. So just like you said, I love the ending when they're all running out of the house. And, then in the next episode, there's a little bit of concern for Jaden, but at the same time, Trevor's like, oh, it'll all sort it out. It'll all get sorted out, So, but again, that's the next episode. But yeah, no, I really, really love this one. It was so good. And I know this has been a quick conversation about it, but it was quick. This was this was on the shorter side. I think it was only like 26 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 23 to 26 minutes if you put 26 minutes total with credits and everything else. And it's just like, wow, but it's more action packed and it's really cool because they get so much within it. So I really did enjoy the episode because it gave us that whole energy, that adrenaline feeling of like, oh my God, it's on the go. It's like, what do we do?
Right.
And then next thing you know, it's like, it's all about candy. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, whatever. They're talking through the door to each other, and the guy's counting down. I loved it that the bad guys are counting down. They're going to shoot Jaden, and they're counting down while he's having this conversation with his friend through the door about how oh, I don't want you to get killed. This is back and forth. But I'm just like, guys, just get out of there, But and then the cops again. Then the cops show up, and we don't know exactly what happens. We hear gunshots and gunfire, but we don't know exactly what happened because everybody's running out the back of the house. And I don't need an explanation about how they were able to get past the cops to the car and drive away. I don't need all that. It's fine. The cops were paying attention to whatever had just happened with this shooting. They weren't looking at the back door. So yeah. Anyway. Like I said, I loved it. I thought it was great.
There were key moments in the actual episode that actually had key California Hollywood Boulevard moments. One of which I have a quote from, and this is after Jaden gets footage of Simon taking out the bad people from the Rainbow Room. Of all things, Rainbow Room is very much because that's where him and Trevor were when they were talking. They were having a meal. And in the alley, Simon goes, I'm going to use my car. And Trevor and Simon goes like, and Simon goes, I'm going to use my car. Actually, I got it backwards.
Yeah, and Trevor asked him if he has super speed. And Simon's like, no, we're going to use my car. And so do you or do you not have super speed? And Simon never answers him. So I thought, that was really cool.
I thought that was hilarious. It's because Simon doesn't even know his own power. He doesn't know what he could do at this point. So he's still learning, everybody. So that's what I love about this. It's him learning how his power is. It's almost similar to what we had from Jessica Jones, if you remember, with Jessica's sister or half sister or adopted sister at that time. When she got powers, she didn't even know what she had at that time.
Right.
And then had to figure it out.
Yeah. I think there's a certain extent to that he doesn't know because, I mean, we obviously know there's some sort of telekinesis with it. He has some sort of strength because he was throwing those guys around like they were just rag dolls, and then, like I said, he kicked the one guy and there was light came. So it's almost like a Miss Marvel kind of thing too, where the light shot out of his foot. So I don't know what his powers are. And I'm interested to see where we're going to take this. How far are they going to go to show us? I was listening to TV podcast industries talk about it, and there's been rumblings of a season 2, even though it's a Marvel Spotlight show, which normally is only a one shot kind of thing.
Which I wanted to bring up too, because at every episode it says a Marvel Spotlight show, meaning that this could be a one-off. Everybody, mind you, we had this with Werewolf by Night at one point, if you'll remember. Yeah, and I did enjoy and love that show. They should have done that with Moon Knight. And I really want Moon Knight season 2, everybody, you all know that. Steve wants that. I want that. I want Moon Knight. I want Oscar Isaacs back as Moon Knight.
I think he'd be great. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I think, again, I don't know what the Disney executives are thinking. Again, we talked about that this was in the can for quite a while, and that's kind of why they dropped it the way they did. This is the first time they've really dropped a show like this. I think Disney. I mean, they did a couple of things where that was Prime. Prime does where they drop 3 episodes and then they go weekly.
Exactly.
I kind of wish that's what they had done here. Maybe dropped 2 or 3 episodes and then went weekly to space it out a little bit. But that's not mine. I'm not a Disney exec. So, but yeah, no. Again, I'm loving this character. I'm loving the chemistry between these two guys is great. Just the things they do, and then going to episode 6, it's almost a complete 180 from what episode 5 was, where episode 5 had all this action and moving around. Episode 6 takes place in just one house. It's not quite a bottle episode because they were kind of all over the house and outside and stuff. But it was another great one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really good. I really did enjoy it. For the 23 minutes that we got, or 26 minutes, everybody, this one episode really did suffice. And we're like, wow, that was awesome. That was great. And then you jump into what? Episode
6, where we get, it kicks off right where episode 5 basically left off. They're in the car.
Yeah.
They're driving to the callback. Simon's in the passenger seat. He's dreaming. He has a dream. First off, we get to see the Trevor audition for the Mandarin. I thought that was really cool.
That was a great callback to it. And it shows how he was out of it during that time. And I really do enjoy that, for the fact that it shows that Trevor was a consummate actor, or actor, as he would always say. But it shows that he was trying to play a character, and that's all he was doing. And the government and the world only sees him as this extreme terrorist. And everybody within this particular season, as well as within the past MCU movies, have seen him only as a terrorist. But the thing is that he wasn't a terrorist. He was just a play toy that whoever used him to play that character. And now we get to see that up front in person in a show, which is great. It's a great way to, like, literally give that character some sort of semblance to who they are. And a lot of people go, oh, that it was a thrown away character. I don't think Ben Kingsley is a thrown away actor.
And they've used him
at all.
And like you're saying, they've used him now. This is now the third third project or third thing he's been part of. Iron Man 3, Shang-Chi, and now this. So they're obviously, that character has some sort of resonance with the audience, with the writers. They like bringing him back. And so, I thought it was, again, it's cool because in Iron Man 3, we didn't get that sense of him. So we didn't find out until Shang-Chi that he was an actor. And we were like, wait, okay. So now suddenly he's out of Shang-Chi, and now we're getting more, and we're getting a deeper view of that character. So I thought it was really, really, really a nice way to start the episode, to give us a little bit of setup for showing who he is as an actor, and seeing him, during the auditions when he's doing the improv with the other guy, you see he really is a good actor. He's
trying to embrace the character that it is, and given the lines, and I need motivation. What is this? And
he doesn't need that. That's when he's a character actor. And that's what I'm saying is like, he throws right in when Von Kovac gives him the scene, you're the wife, you're the trophy wife or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he's doing the scene with the one other guy.
Very beginning though, at the very beginning, when he's half out of it, he's given lines, and he realizes that he's got to be an actor, as he always says. Right. And then he has to do this.
He's given some direction, be more menacing. Here you go. Here's the sunglasses. Put the sunglasses on. And then he deepens his voice, and we get that Mandarin voice.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and it also folds into the car ride with Simon going through their lines, which is so funny too, as they're on a chase and they're driving, and I'm doing the whole steering wheel movement, everybody driving, as I'm talking to Steve, going, oh my God. Trevor telling him how to do his lines, working with him, being a friend, and being a mentor to Simon, regardless of what is happening at that moment. It's amazing. And it's just so funny. And Trevor is being Trevor as usual, and an actor, but also a friend to Simon. That's where I think I saw where Trevor realized that he wanted to be a friend to Simon, and also be a mentor as an actor to Simon for the things that Simon loves to do.
Well, yeah, the conversation,
regardless of like the powers that Simon has.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when you get to the end of it, towards the end of the episode, when they have that conversation outside, and he tells him, he says, your condition isn't what you are. You need to put the mirror up to nature. You know, he's talking to him about how to be an actor, how to not mess this up anymore. And so they go in and they nail it, which is my only little kind of weird kind of thing of the episode is Von Kovac kind of goes back and forth on how he wants them to do the audition. It seems like at one he starts out with them running the pages, and then he's like, no, throw the pages away. We're just going to do improv. And then he gives them each a scene to do. And like he gives Simon and Manuel the other scene. And then Simon ends up doing the monologue from Pretty Woman, you know, and Von Kovac is ready to throw him out because he's like, I don't want you just to be somebody else's lines. I want to see you. You know, and that was so. Yeah, I love the other actors in there. One guy is the surfing inspector for Paul Thomas Anderson. The other guy's I trained at Juilliard. The other guy's like, no, I'm the student of life. And you're just like, you guys are all douches. You know, I mean, you're all, and it's just so.
And through that, he plays his song too to inspire them. The Midnight Special by Creedence Clearwater Revival, and I thought it was hilarious. And I was like, I love that song, but I was like, oh, okay. He's trying to induce some sort of, he's trying to inspire them in some way for their characters. And I'm like, wow, okay. I can see where this is going. It was all trying to be inspiring and be creative at that point. And there are a few shows that actually do that. And I really do enjoy that.
Yeah, I loved it. Then when we see Barnaby and Simon, Trevor and Simon do the Wonder Man Barnaby scene together, and you see how powerful they are. And at that moment where they think they've messed it up and they're walking out, and Von Kovac stops them and goes, "No, I couldn't say this in front of the other actors because I didn't want them to get a complex or whatever." He says, "But you guys have got you got the part. You are definitely my Wonder Man." You know,
they are Barnaby and Simon. Yeah, they are perfect for the roles. Yeah,
yeah. I thought that was really cool.
And that's where it leaves off until we get Trevor. After Simon and Trevor get the gig, and then Trevor being talked to by Damage Control and being dragged away.
Yeah.
And his interaction with them. And then we get Chaka Khan.
Yeah. Yeah. And we see that Trevor, they tell him Cleary threatens to send him back to jail, and Trevor is like, well, no. And so then he kind of gives in and he says, yeah, Simon is dangerous. He is enhanced. And he's kind of, I think he's just playing along with Cleary at this point. It seems to me he's just playing along at this point. Just how long can he drag this out to figure out another way out? Like he said, in his life, things just sort of work out for him. And so he's hoping this is going to be the same thing. Something's just going to work out for him here where, Cleary's like, well, will you testify to that in court? And he's like, no, you can't have me testifying. And like he realizes, and suddenly Cleary realizes, if he didn't realize it before, he realizes I can't put this guy in court. Nobody's going to believe him. He's an actor who pretended to be a terrorist, or he's a terrorist who's now nobody's going to know, and nobody's going to believe him. So they have to get more evidence. And Trevor says, well, I can get you the evidence. I just need more time, And so Cleary, we don't see him get out of the SUV, but I'm assuming at some point they're going to have to let him out of the SUV, and maybe that's going to be where Simon's going to see. I don't know. We'll find out in the next episode, I'm sure. But
that is true.
But yeah, I think I'm pretty sure at this point, I think he's just playing along with Cleary to stay out of jail. So.
Wow. And
I love the line.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I love the line when Von Kovac is giving Simon direction and he says, you have no eyelashes. The light is always in your eyes. Just what do you do with that? What kind of direction is that? You
really?
Squint. Yeah, that's what he told me. Yeah, I'm like, so you squint a lot, and this, like, he punched the one guy in the shoulder. He goes, "You have a hunting injury," and here it is. I just, just like this. Von Kovac is just wacky, and I love the character. I don't know who the actor is, but it's a wacky character, and it's going to be
It's
interesting to
definitely
see.
extreme and
Mhm.
very different avant-garde.
Yeah,
Kind of reminds me of a TV show on Apple TV Plus with Seth Rogen.
the studio.
And yeah, the studio. There you go.
Hmm.
We lost Catherine O'Hara, and she was a big part of that particular show as well. And oh my god, like I love the studio because
Yeah.
it shows everything that goes on within studios and filming, whether it be TV or film.
Hmm.
And it's one of those. It's like the avant-garde director. It's like, you doing this? Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh. It's like everybody's got their own idea.
Yeah, he like hugs him at the end. He's like, nobody will have the balls to do another superhero movie after they see my superhero movie. Like he's, I'm trying to think of the name of the director who they're comparing him to, and the name is escaping. There's a famous director that they're kind of comparing him to, and I can't remember who it is. But yeah, it's fun, and I'm interested to see where the show takes it in these last two episodes that we're going to get here at the end. But yeah, again, these two episodes made up for my disappointment with 3 and 4. I was just way over the top with them, so love it.
The episodes go by quick, everybody. So that's why we've been doing like at least 2 a week. And we're trying to like do this and evaluate it. Mind you, it only takes about a half hour to 45 minutes per episode of the podcast. But we have fun with it because we like talking about it. And if you guys like listening to us, please, thank you for listening to us. But the funny thing is that I love the fact that the way they did this, they dropped it all at once. I wish it was episodically, like weekly, and it would have been interesting. It might have been 15 or 20 minutes per podcast episode, but for the fact that we're doing it 2 episodes at a time, it gives us time to give you guys a deeper insight of what we're thinking. And then if you guys have any thoughts, obviously at the very end, we'll tell you how to get your thoughts to us. But yeah, those are our thoughts about this episode. Steve, do you have anything else or no?
No, that's it. I'm tapped out. That's everything I have for 5 and 6. They were great. They went by really fast, but they were great episodes.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, with comic news, the teaser for Spider-Man or Spider Noir,
dropped this week. I
with
watched it a couple of times.
Nicolas Cage.
It's a live action Nicolas Cage. I can't figure out. I'm a little confused about a couple of things with the trailer. I've got to watch it maybe a couple more times if I really am interested. But it looks like one part of the trailer says no powers, no responsibility, but then it also shows him like shooting a web. So I'm not sure if he's supposed to have powers or not have powers.
The character is unknown to me, and I'm looking forward to jumping into that. The only thing that I have reference to is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
And I think you have the same thing and feeling that I do. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. It's almost like Batman. Oh, they had a Batman with candlelight or gaslight or something. Who knows? It was back in the medieval times, and it was a Batman at that time. So it gives me that feeling of a different alternate reality of a Spider-Man and with the Batman, whatever, it was more of that in that respect. You could always check that out on WB, by the way, everybody. If you go to HBO Max, you could actually check out that stuff. But for the Spider-Man or Spider Noir, there are comics out there. You can buy them on Amazon.com and check that out if you are really intrigued. Or if not, you go to Rob's Comics Explained on YouTube, and he'll do a whole thorough background about it, because I guarantee you he's gonna have that. I love Comics Explained on YouTube, because I
Okay.
love Rob and what his thoughts are. Reminds me of my friend Rob Moda. and Steve and I have worked with Rob before. Rob will be back later on. We're going to do a year-end review, and I know we're late, everybody, for 2025 year-end review, but we're going to do that on Pyrocore Entertainment. But along with that, Good Omens Season 3 will be released May 13th and may only have one episode, everybody. So it might be a one long episode run for that particular thing. So we will be covering that when it does come out for that. I also got some interesting news. I did not know this for Captain America Brave New World. We almost had an Amadeus Cho scene that was cut. It was filmed, but it was cut. We didn't get that on the Blu-ray. We did not get that on the digital content for deleted scenes. And it had Logan Kim cast in the role of Amadeus Cho being turned into a Hulk. And if you guys know that particular character in the Hulk series, in the comic book series, he was a smart Hulk. He was a young, smart Hulk, and it was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing if Marvel will put that out at some point. It'd be great to see him. I'm hoping that we do get him not only in Doomsday or maybe even Secret Wars. And yes, there'll be parts 1 and 2 of Secret Wars. I guarantee it. It's going to happen. They can't really get that whole story out in one particular movie in Secret Wars. So we're going to get that in two portions, I think, within Secret Wars. So with that, that was our coverage of comic news. So now we're going to move on to podcast recommendations. Steve?
Yeah, I just want to give a big thank you to the Still Slaying a Buffyverse podcast on Podcastica.
Awesome.
They gave us a really good shout out about our coverage here of Wonder Man. They talked about it on one of their recent podcasts and gave us a good shout out there, us and TV podcast industry. So I appreciate that, Penny and the girls. I've been on Still Slaying a couple of times. Mark, have you been? You haven't done Still Slaying yet, have you?
I haven't done Still Slaying in a long time,
Okay.
a couple of years. So I'm looking. Penny and I do D&D, and that's a whole podcast side project, everybody. So we do our own D&D online, and we have fun. I haven't talked to Penny in a while, so I guess I should say, hey, I want to come on for a particular episode. They're getting deep in the nitty gritty of certain episodes of Angel and Buffy.
Yeah, they're just about to finish season 4 of Buffy. They'll go into season 5 here. They're getting close to the end of season 1 of Angel as well. So they're getting to the close, ending of those seasons, and they'll go on from there, I'm sure. So season 5 of Buffy is a great season. So I can't wait to. I'm probably going to guest on 1 or 2 of those episodes as well. Hopefully if they'll have me. So
I'm sure they will. You're always a great host to have on and have fun with. I also want to recommend, it's on our podcast network, obviously. That would be What's On Tonight, and they're covering The Pit. And obviously, listen to Becky and Mandy and their coverage of The Pit season 2 as they're doing it. Season 2, episode 6 will be coming out, obviously, and check that out and listen to their thoughts. I have to have my hand in what they do and releasing at times, but they are amazing. They are doing great. They are doing so many interviews with some of these characters, these actors in the show. Check them out, and that's all I could recommend highly.
okay.
Other than that, Podcastica and Wilhelm podcast. And for anybody who wants to submit feedback, where else can listeners hear us? Steve?
Well, I send voicemails to various podcasts that our friends do, so you can hear my voice pop up there. And of course, I'll be right here on Panels to Pixels podcast all the time.
And I could be heard here as well on Panels to Pixels podcast. I could be heard also on Adrenaline Cinema podcast whenever we put out a podcast. Unfortunately, right now we don't have many episodes to come out at the moment. We're working on the Telemasca. Jerry and I are working on some of the Ape stuff that's coming out after we had done the original Planet of the Apes series. And then we have the Pirate Core Entertainment podcast, which feeds everything that we do with what we do for panels, Adrenaline, What's On Tonight, anything else, as well as the year in review that we're going to be doing with the guys from Fantasy Picks, or formerly Fantasy Picks Movie Edition. We got to really get a name. Anyhow, you can hear that. And then I am starting to introduce the Kaiju Cast podcast. And that is a podcast about anything large monsters. So for those of you who like big monster movies, whether they be Toho, Japanese, Korean, legendary, American, all the B movie stuff that we do out here in America too, as well. We're going to be covering that. My friend Dimitri and I and myself are going to be covering that. We'll have interchangeable co-hosts at times, and we're going to have fun with that. So check that out. I have yet to work on the website for PirateCoreEntertainment.com, and then that way you could get to the links. I just finalized a bunch of stuff for everybody today, and it's pretty funny. But other than that, that's about it. That was it for our show. But as always, Steve?
Well, as always, as Mark just pointed out, you can find all of our links at PirateCoreEntertainment.com. There's links for all the shows on there. Check that out when you get a chance.
All right. And we can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player choice that you have. If ratings are available, please give them and give us a 5 stars if you like what we do. Check out our website, PirateCoreEntertainment.com, as Steve pointed out. Submit your theories and feedback to our Facebook group, facebook.com/panelstopixels. You can email us, panelstopixels1@gmail.com. Panels 2 is spelled out TO, and pixels and the number 1@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube, and all you have to do is search for Panels to Pixels podcast. If you search for Panels to Pixels, obviously you'll get Josh, and I don't want to hear him. I love Josh. But next week we'll be covering Wonder Man Season 1, Episodes 7 and 8. And I just want to thank everybody for listening. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
Same podcast, different panels, different pixel. And this was Panels to Pixels podcast. And we'll see you guys on the next panel. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Good night.